Luke 19:27. But as for those enemies of mine who would not let me reign over them, bring them here and slay them before me. That's the one they quoted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus said, kill people. Okay, now let me show you the context. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here's the context, guys. Let's see if it's going to go all the way through. As they heard these things, he continued and told them a parable, mathal. It's a parable, sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a parable is, right?
Yes, I know.
A story to illustrate a point. Okay, what's the point? Because he was near Jerusalem, so he's about to be killed and then rise and go to heaven. So he's going to leave the world. And because they thought the King God would immediately appear, they thought he's going to bring heaven on earth immediately. Right? Mm-hmm. Therefore, he said, a nobleman, meaning a royalty, noble means someone who's going to be royalty, king, went to a distant country to receive a kingdom and to return. So he went to a far country. He's going to get a kingdom. He's going to come back. Jesus is talking about himself. He's going to go to heaven. He's going to be crowned as king and eventually come back to the earth, right?
Amen.
But in the meantime, this is what he does. So Jesus is now that man, and we, the Christians, are his servants. So he called his 10 servants, and he trusted to them 10 pounds and said to them, trade until I come. You 10, here's 10 pounds. Make money for me until I return from heaven. Now, the pounds are your gifts, the gifts that God has given you. Mm-hmm. He's given you gifts and talents. He wants you to use them, increase them for the glory of God, right?
Yes.
Now watch here. But his citizens, those citizens that belong to him, because he's the king, hated him. He's talking about the Jews who are going to reject him and have him killed. And sent a delegation after him, saying, we do not want this man to reign over us. He's talking about the Jews. They don't want him. When he returned, okay, this is now when he returned. Returned from where? Returned from where? That's Jesus. Yeah, when he returns from where?
From heaven.
You got it. This is talking about the end time. So it's talking about the second coming. Yes. When Jesus returns. It's not talking about now while he was on earth or us on earth killing people. It's talking about when he comes from heaven, he's going to judge and punish those who don't believe in him. Mm-hmm. When he returned, having received the kingdom, he summoned these servants to whom he had entrusted the money. So now he's going to deal with Christians. We are his servants. He's going to say, come here, you, Fana, you, Sam. What did you do with the gifts I gave you? Did you use them and multiply the kingdom? Or did you keep the gift to yourself, that he might know what everyone gained by trading? The first came saying, Master, your pound, you gave me a pound, has made 10 pounds. I increased it to 9 more. He said to him, well done, good servant, because you have been faithful, right? Mm-hmm. In very little, take authority over 10 cities. Now I'm going to make you ruler over 10 cities of mine. The second came saying, Master, your pound has made 5 pounds more, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so what happened to him? Now watch, you ready?
Yeah.
Now we're going to see what the parable is, because they lied to you. Master, he said to him, oh, okay. He said, in like manner, you take authority over 5 cities. Okay, you increase it to 5 cities yours. Now watch. Then another came saying, Master, look, here is your pound. See the pound you gave me? I hid it. I kept it safe. He didn't increase it, which I've kept away, put away in a napkin. For I feared you. I was afraid of you, because you are an exacting man. You're demanding. You demand justice and integrity. You collect what you do not deposit, right? You collect from others because they belong to you and you own them. And you reap what you do not sow. And you take from their fields because it's all yours. Now look what he says. Jesus is talking about the Christian who does nothing with God's gifts. So if you're a Christian and you claim Jesus, but do nothing with the gifts, the Lord's going to rebuke us and punish us, because then we prove unfaithful. He said to him, out of your own mouth will I judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was an exacting man, collecting what I did not deposit, reaping what I did not sow. Why then did you not deposit my money in the bank? At least collect interest. Do something to make it increase, so that my coming when I return, see, when I come back, I might have collected it with interest. Now we get to the finale. So what is going to happen to those Christians who claim to know Jesus and follow Jesus, but do nothing for Jesus, do nothing with the gifts he's given us to increase the kingdom? What is he going to do to us? Then he said to those who stood by, take the pound from him, this wicked servant, give it to the one who increased 10 pounds. They said to master, he has 10 pounds. I tell you that everyone who has will be given. If you have, God will give you more. He's promising the more you do with the gifts I've given you, the more your rewards, the greater your rewards when I return to judge. Okay? But from him who has not, from the one who didn't do anything for my glory, to advance my kingdom, to reach people and bring them to me, even what he has will be taken away from him. Wow. Yeah, it's talking about multiplying the kingdom. It's talking about advancing the kingdom, building up the kingdom with your gifts, building believers up, strengthening the church, leading people to Christ. That's what it's talking about. See?
Yeah.
I tell you that everyone who has will be given, but from him who has not, even what he has will be taken away from him. Now, verse 27. Now, verse 27. But as for those people, those Jews and others who didn't want me to be their king, who didn't want to believe in me, but as for those enemies of mine who would not let me reign over them, who didn't want me to be their king, bring them here and slay them before me. So now, sister, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. When does Jesus have these people killed? Now while he was on earth? Now with the church? Or when he returns from heaven?
I think when he returns from heaven.
You're saying you think. Why are you thinking?
I think when he returns from heaven in the second coming, I think.
You think only?
Nay, it's the Bible says so, yeah. In the verse.
No, so you don't think. You know it's when he returns, because he says when he comes back.
Yeah.
So when is he going to slay his enemies?
In the second coming.
You got it. When he returns to judge, because he's coming to judge the wicked and the righteous. So what are they using this verse to prove? What does it prove? They believe Jesus comes to judge. They believe God will judge the wicked and destroy them at the day of judgment, don't they?
Yeah.
So what problem do they have with Jesus coming on the day of judgment to punish and destroy the wicked who didn't believe in him? What are they talking about?
Yeah, because they won't compare him with Muhammad, maybe.
What were you saying? I didn't hear you.
Because they won't compare Jesus with Muhammad.
But this passage buries Muhammad in hell where he belongs, right?
Amen. Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Jesus killing his enemies now or when he was on earth. It's talking about when he comes back from heaven, returns to the earth to judge the living and the wicked.
Yeah, that's true.
So I hope you got it. But that's a warning for all of us, you and me and all the Christians. Jesus is now warning us. We Christians, we've been given gifts. Jesus is saying, I expect you to use the gifts to multiply the kingdom, to increase the kingdom, and not be selfish and do nothing with it. Because if you do nothing with it, that means you're unfaithful and I will punish you.